Okay, guys, we're starting in half a minute.
Where did you go on Friday? Just for drinks? For drinks.
Yeah.
The girls stayed 7 nights all the time. Mama, so what time you stayed on Friday? Till 12.
It's quite late.
Yeah.
You went earlier.
So next time we go
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I was happy that you proposed, like, that some activities are happening besides the office, so.
Well, not exactly activities, just drinking.
I see it as an activity, so. Don't you judge my hobby.
Hi guys, welcome to lesson 9.1. Yay! 75% programmers already, you know. The last lesson, number 12, actually use all the stuff that we need to actually learn to be programmers, so it's going to be a very, very complex one. Today, I want to continue with our examples that we were showing before how to do push notifications, okay? So I prepared some stuff for it and I'll explain you why, but before I go to that, I just want to show you a few things, all right? And tell you a little story, all right? So this is 1995. Connection lost on the projector, so sorry, one second. Let me fix the projector for the guys in here, cast. Okay, ding, ding, ding. Yep, we are back. Okay, look. Why didn't you shout? It's gone, Andre, we can't see anything. Yeah, so back to 1995, all right? It's so funny when you are my age that you figure out that a lot of people are 20 years old, were born much after 1995. And 1995 seems like, yeah, it was a few years ago. But I'm sure that it doesn't matter if you were born 2002 or 1952 or whatever. You remember at least some of these movies like Toy Story and Pocahontas and whatever not. And they were great movies, okay? And we all enjoyed them. So why the hell did I choose 1995? Oh, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Oh my God, 12 Monkeys, that's a good one because we have a monkey pox now, so yeah, a bit prophetic. But apart from that, why did I choose 1995? It's funny because I was curious last night and then I was checking how old is Apache, and Apache is 27 years old. It was actually released in 1995. And I was like, well, what about PHP? I was like, oh, funny enough, 1995. Okay, I was like, okay, what about MySQL? Funny enough, 1995. So in 1995, different people in different parts of the world decided to create this independently from each other, pretty much, this trilogy of things that we are using, MySQL, PHP, and Apache, okay? But what was before 1995? What was in 1994? What was in 1993? And so, well, actually, I discovered it was this thing, okay? So this is Mosaic, one of the first browsers that could combine images and text on the same page, okay? And by images, that's the image, that S kind of thing with circle, you know, that's image. All right. So this thing was released in 1993. Okay, and of course it used HTML and it used stuff like FTP, Flight Transfer Protocol, a few other things. It was like absolutely amazing. You know, it's one of those things which brought internet to the masses when nobody had internet at the time. So the people who made this mosaic actually made Netscape Navigator, and later on that was created by or succeeded by this Firefox stuff. Okay, so it's kind of Firefox has some roots and connections to this Mosaic web browser. So this was using HTML and so on. So you might ask yourself, why the hell are we using the technologies which are 25, 7, 8 years old? It's not that old, but it is old in terms of computers. We know how far and how fast we are getting. We are getting all this new amazing stuff. Why don't we learn about that instead? Okay? Well, there are two reasons. I think I mentioned them, but most servers in the world today run PHP. Okay? It's almost 80% of the servers backend is written in PHP today. Okay? Half of the servers today, use PHP version 7 something. Okay, so if we are using version 7, we are basically half of the servers. The rest is a little bit of 8, but more of them is 5.6. Apache, same thing, very high percentage, and JavaScript, stuff like that, that's pretty much on any website. It's like 99% of today's websites have JavaScript on it. HTML, all of them have at least some elements of HTML. So one reason is because obviously it's extremely popular still, regardless of its age. And the new technologies that are being released a slight improvement. They're not huge improvement, you know, it's not revolutionary. So these guys who released Maria database, for example, they copied MySQL because MySQL was purchased by somebody like Oracle and stuff like that, and they were worried it will be not available for people, so they made like open source copy of it. And they are pretty much following what MySQL is doing, so it's very closely compatible, so it's not better. And then you have some others which decided, okay, we'll make it slightly better, but we will make it better by changing what it is for. By saying, okay, if we don't have a relationship database, that is going to be much faster. Yes, it is, but you don't have relationships. Okay, so if you have specific need for those types of databases, you can use them. So they can give you a little bit of advantage, okay, but not that much. So that's one reason. Very popular, okay. Alternatives are not that much better. And the second reason is, I actually don't want you to learn this stuff. I want you to learn how to think like a programmer. And this is some of the examples that we are using, okay? But I'm jumping from MySQL to PHP to JavaScript to React Native to this. I'm jumping because it's all the same principles: how to approach the problem, how to resolve the problem, how to find the solutions. They all have its own little syntaxes and quirks and stuff that you can pick up. But, you know, those quirks are this year, next year they will have different quirks, because that's fixed, but something new is there, you know. So if you want to stay current, you have to learn how to do thinking process right, not how to be a best PHP programmer and know every function by heart. Okay? So those are the two reasons. Now, I want to show you one thing, because we are talking about external resources and connecting to external resources, okay? So I quickly downloaded WordPress and installed it. It takes 10 minutes on my local machine, okay? And I added 2 plugins, and I added 2 random plugins, okay? I added one SEO plugin, okay? The first one which I picked, okay? And I just want to show you something, okay? Now, these here are requests, okay? These are the requests that my website running on my computer is making when loads this page that I'm currently on, okay? So as you can see, it is loading appsource.com. So that's my local computer. So it's loading from a file from my computer. One file, another file, 3 files, then goes to google.com to load something. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 requests it makes, okay? But apart from google.com, then goes to Google APIs, then goes to gstatic, then goes to, I've seen a few others here on a maybe page before. If I go here, see it has this psw.org, which I assume is some WordPress organization, okay? So it's very, very weird, okay? But it's making lots of requests, okay? So typically what people do is create websites that don't connect just to your own domain, but go to other domains and pick up stuff. Okay? So I need something for w.org, I need something from google.com, I need some fonts that I can get from Google, free from Google, etc., etc. Now, for me, this is bad for 2 reasons, all right? Reason number 1 is, well, 3 reasons, is security, okay? So I see that this is making a request to this organization. Oh, I don't know what organization is that. I don't know which organization is calling, and I don't know what data it's sending. I can see the source code and analyze that, but I'm not going to sit and read every line of the code and check every single thing that they are posting, okay? But even if I don't read every line of the code, I can see, it's loading from something from gstatic.com, and it's loading some chart, JavaScript, and CSS files. Okay? Well, there are 2 things. These files I can download and put them on my server, so it doesn't have to go on a remote server. It can load it from my own server. Okay? But then I'm just duplicating these files. Why don't I have all the files on remote servers somewhere in the world? So I say all the JavaScript files are there, CSS files are there, everything is everywhere, all right? Again, I don't know who these people are, which companies are these, and why are, and I'm sure that they are tracking usage of the APIs. And I don't know what data is sent to them. Even if I am making this request, what are you sending to these people? Okay, so security and privacy, which I have to ensure my users' security and privacy, I might be leaking through all of these. Now, another thing is that, let's say this loader.js works perfectly for 2 years. Is it going to work for 3 years? Is it going to work for 6 years? Is it going to be on this link? Okay, well, maybe. Okay, so if it's on my website, I know it's going to be there because I put it there. I'm not going to remove it unless I personally delete it. These guys, I don't know. Maybe they will update this version of Loader.js. Maybe they'll discontinue it. Okay? So while my site is working now, when I build it, it might not work later. These might not be available, they might upgrade them to a different version and then break my code, etc., etc. So it's not secure, it's not stable enough, in my opinion. I know lots of people are doing exactly like this, okay? But now the third reason is, how internet works, okay, is primitively, because it uses HTTP protocol, which as you can see is 30 years old plus. And it was built to run the websites just like I showed you that gray one with maybe one picture, that was achievement, okay? That's what it was built to use. So when I load 60, 70 of these requests, they are loaded one after another. Okay? So my computer, my browser, sends a request to my Wi-Fi router, which then, so that takes a few milliseconds, which sends a request to my Ziggo provider that I need this google.com. And see, now we have to figure out who the hell google.com is, because we actually need its IP. So it sends that request to DNS servers, which gives some numbers. And then it goes to that server and says, hello, how are you? You know, I find things, you know, what do you want? I want this just P thing. Okay, and then it sends it back. Well, it doesn't send it back to me, it sends it back to my provider. My provider thinks, where the hell is this going? And it goes to this Wi-Fi router. My Wi-Fi router thinks, where the hell, which device is connected, that one, you know. So this takes a while. Hmm?
So you mean that it takes a lot of traffic to open the website?
Yeah, it takes traffic, but the problem is there's lots of empty space. You're waiting for things to happen. This one is waiting for that one, this one is waiting for that one, and so on. Okay? If I do trace route, which you can do in your terminal, I don't know, can I do it on Mac, or is that alternative? No, there's no. So this one doesn't matter. You try it at home, okay? Any website, okay? And then it will show you how many servers it actually goes step by step till it reaches that website, you know, which is ridiculous. You know? But these ones are done one after another. That's the limitation. That's because I'm using HTTP 1.1. HTTP 1 is that one 30 years ago. Okay? They try to fix this by allowing 6, but that also depends on who your internet provider is. But if we are all sharing the same internet provider, we are like 10 people in a room, it's not enough, okay? Yeah, they give us 100 bits, megabits, megabits, shit, so it looks fast, okay? But it's actually not very good. So yes, I can have 6 requests simultaneously, but that was kind of added as a patch to speed it up. But it's not working really well, okay? So if this Google is down or slow, then all the requests which are coming after it have to wait for this to finish, okay? And I can check that, I think, in network or somewhere like that. I can see how long they are loading and, you know, requests, polls, get, and so there's some profiling that I can see here. I don't know. However, what they have invented, but this is not an official thing, is HTTP2. But before I go in HTTP2, this is why your browsers cache a lot of these CSS and HTML files. When the site says, I need that file, browser says, no, you don't. I already got it. I already got it, so probably it's the same one, so I'll just give you the same one. And they are probably right. Okay? But so to fake this requests, so all these which are like very fast, basically they are already on my computer, so it didn't require them, okay? Well, see, this one took 484 milliseconds to process, okay? Because it was sending and receiving some data. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know what the hell it is doing, as I said. So there is a thing called HTTP2, which I think Google, a few guys from Google put it together. So what that does is kind of bundles all these resources together and just sends them as a one request. Okay? So that, of course, compared to 50, 60, 70, even if you can do 6 simultaneously, is much, much faster. Okay? But that's not official. There's no HTTP 2.0 protocol. But it works with most browsers because everybody realized that's what it is. So if I go to Alpha Apps.org or whatever website I want to do, and inspect element and go to this console, same thing, and reload it. So see, first I have less resources loaded. Okay, so I don't make as many requests as they do. Okay, but these are bundled together because they're using HTTP2 protocol. They're still cached and all that stuff, So this loads much, much faster. And I'm not waiting for external APIs to maybe not respond, or maybe track my data, or maybe change the thing that I'm fetching from them, So for me personally, if I can avoid external APIs, I will do at most costs for the reasons that I just described. Okay? But sometimes we have to use external APIs, and most of the times we use them for purposes that is not possible for us to build, such as push notifications. I have to use external API for push notifications because I'm interacting with the whole world. Fine, no problem. All clear?
Yeah.
Good. So, a couple of years ago, last year, every now and then people ask me, Andrei, why don't we build mobile app for AppSource? So we have all this as a mobile app. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, but who has time? All right? And how is this mobile app going to look like? And then people ask me, it would be really cool to have a good template app, mobile app, so we can use easily for all our projects, which again looks like AppSource. So I was like, yeah, who has time to build that? But yeah, it's a good idea. Another thing what people would like to have here with me is a good human resources app, so you can book your holidays, days off, when you are coming in or not, okay? And I would like to have one app which actually I can show you guys that it works with all these, without any too many problems, how to build it and so on. So it was so funny when I actually found one which uses Laravel, uses Ionic, uses Wexy as a team on both of these things, and it is for booking holidays. Okay? So I was like, oh my God, that's so brilliant. How much is it? The guy is selling it on some of these online websites for $60. So I said, oh my God, that's really, really cool. So I downloaded a couple of days ago and I put it on my computer. So I'm going to show you that app quite quickly, both front end and back end. And after that, I'm going to try to make push notifications working. Okay, so finally we are to that stage where we are talking about push notifications. Now, before I go into the push notifications and the app, I want to show something what Julia is struggling right now to do, because every app has its unique ID. Okay? Now, the unique ID of the app is like a package name. Okay, but it has multiple idiotic names. Okay, so things it's the same thing, but they are called by different. So I need to show you what I mean. Okay. If I go to this thing, it says App ID. Okay, and it's IO Ionic Starter. If I go to here, it's Widget ID. Okay, and I put com app source my time. All right, and there are a few other files where it's mentioned, you know. So when you have Android phone or iOS, you have many applications, and they use many packages and many files and functions. They cannot clash with each other. So in order for your app and your app and your app and everybody else's app and all the hundred thousands of apps not to clash with each other, they have to have unique identifier, which is different from each other, okay? So what has been decided is that it's reverse of your domain. So if your company is appsource.org, or .appsource, dot the name of the app. Okay? So if I'm creating an application called My Time, then my unique identifier on all these app stores, this will be org.appsource.mytime. If your website or company is cotown.io, then it's going to be io.cotown.thing. Okay? So when you define that in your mobile app and start building for the first time your Android and iOS folders or apps, in Android, in app source main, Java is going to create the folder structure of your app. So it will have a file called main activity. This is a starter file for all Android apps. It's called mainactivity.java. It's like index.html of the website for Android. So if every app in the world has this main activity, of course it has to have a proper full name before it. Okay? So in my case, there should be org, appsource, my time, and then main activity inside of them. And then it's going to have this package name, appsource, my time. But since this is example, and I already started it with
this domain.
yeah, I'm going to have a problem. I'm going to have a problem with this, so I will see will I be able to fix it, okay?
Can't you like delete the
Oh yeah, I can delete stuff, you know, deleting is easy.
delete the data from the actual ID, the place where it stores the ID?
Oh yeah, I can delete it. But I also have to make this different, and all the places, it is everywhere, okay? So if I go like that, Control C, and in this app, find in folder, Control V, as you can see, it has quite a few, 29 files. Plus, as you just saw, it's also folder structure which follows those. So it's not just delete one or two, or, you know, and then when you do all this, then it's complaining about, all right? So before I delete this and do stuff, okay, I want to show you Ionic framework, okay? So Ionic offers you same like React Native and all the others, kind of HTML building. So you build like a website, and then it wraps it into the mobile application, okay? So it has node modules and all that sort of stuff, same like React Native. And has command line tools, which allows you to install it, okay? This Ionic can work with Angular, but can also work with Vue and React Native and whatever is the platform of your choice. Right now we have this Angular, okay? So if you want React, you can, or Vue, you can, and so on. Has some extensions for VS Code, I don't care. Okay, you can start your Angular application. And this is what I keep saying to the guys, do please create a first Hello World application, demo world, okay? Don't go for the big one, which is quite complex, has lots of extensions and configurations. Try to build a demo application first, because if that doesn't run on your computer, then your computer is not set up properly. It doesn't have everything that requires. If you can't run that application, then how are you going to run very complex application? So if you say, fine, I want to run application, okay, you need to download some tools. It requires Node.js, and my computer had Node.js 17 on it. And some of your Ubuntus had Node.js 8. And then you can download LTS version of Node.js. So LTS is long time supported version. So this is the version which is main current and is going to be current and main for a long time, okay? So they are going to release new versions after that, but that's not going to be LTS. So Ubuntu has version 19, but it's not LTS. Okay, 18 is LTS and 20 is LTS, and you know, so LTS for Node.js is 16. That's the one that is LTS, and if you want the previous one, it's 14. So typically it's this, and not odd numbers, but the others. So fine. So I just install Node.js, and then I can install Ionic command line interface, so I can type this stuff, and then you can create the app. Okay? So to create the app in Ionic, you can just type Ionic start. So you type in your terminal Ionic start, and it asks you what's the name of your app, what kind of template you want to use it, like tabs, so you have 3 tabs, or you want to have a menu at the side, so it gives you like a little template app, demo app. And then you want to use Angular or Vue or different operating system. And then do you want to use Cordova or Capacitor as a native integration kind of tool? Because you need something to talk to your Android or iOS. So we need either Capacitor thing, which is As I say, it's not bad, so I like it. Or Cordova, which is also not bad. And Cordova is made by Apache guys, same open source corporation, which is doing our HTTP servers and all the other cool stuff. Okay? Whilst we create this app, okay, so you say you can add dependencies, you can add these different modules, which I'll come to that. I will add the module for the push, okay? But to run the app, you type Ionic serve, okay? So basically, in my time, when I, which is my app, okay, I have, let me just, okay. So I'm in this folder, all right? I installed Node modules with Node install, npm install. But actually, this Ionic thing did it for me. When I answered the question, what's the name of my app and so on, it installed it for me, so I'm happy. And then I can type Ionic serve.
But you can see push notifications on the browser, right?
Yeah. Okay. So it opens my browser, it opens localhost 81,000, and I can see my app. Okay. And if I log out, you can see this waxy kind of thing. Okay, so it works fine. And this is my user and password, which I click login, and hopefully it will log me in if I type it correctly. No idea what did I put as my user and password, so.
Again, doesn't
Hmm?
project.
Okay, projector is dead as well. I'm just typing my password right now, which doesn't work.
Died for a reason. Security.
Well, what the hell is doing with this projector? So I can theoretically log in. I can't right now because I don't know what my password is, okay? Now let me just try a different one. Nope. Well, let me try another one then. Oh my God, it's.
You don't have it saved in the database?
Hmm?
You don't have it saved?
No, it's asking for email, and it put my username there as a saved thing. So, of course, it's not going to. I can type 20 passwords. It's not going to work with it. Okay. So that's the Ionic app. But the cool thing is that I can run it in the browser. Okay. So why I like this, because I can do quite a lot of development very quickly, just like we learned there. Easily refresh the browser so I can see how it works on different sizes of the phones. If I scratch this, scratch that, you know. So I get, you know, lots done very quickly. But what if I want to run it on the phone, okay? So if I want to run it on a phone, I probably need to run some other, what the hell is this? Oh, Ionic capacitor, run iOS. Boom. So now it's asking me, which phone do I want to run on, okay? As you can see, it just gave me all the phones which I have on my computer, apparently. So I will choose iPhone 10 simulator. So now it's going to build the iOS app, okay?
So Cordova and capacitor run together. I can see that there is Cordova plugins and capacitor plugins.
No. This is run by a program called capacitor. But the plugins, node modules and stuff like that I'm using, I can use for anyone, including Cordova. Okay? So it's not exclusive, all right? And here's my app in the simulator. Okay? As you can see, I can see my worksy stuff, boom, and email and password, okay? So, I don't know what my email and password are. So I'm going to show you a few things before I go into this thing, okay? So, that's my app. This is my source code, all right? I could have run it slightly different, so this app refreshes every time when I make a change inside my source code. So I have a simulator running on that side, and it keeps updating. But I didn't, but there is just one line of additional little flag. So in my source, in my app, this is the login screen, okay? So that's nice and easy, organized. And I have this app routing, okay? So basically says if your URL is login, then load children, login module. Okay? So this one imports all the modules that it needs, like Angular and some Ionic, and says load the login page, which is this, and the routing module, so I can go to other pages. Okay? So the page itself is that. And as we saw last time, it's pretty much HTML-ish with these additional Ionic stuff which gets translated in native buttons. So this looks like a native button, which is also stylized to look like Vuexy, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay. So this login page so I have some text, email, password, URL, okay? And you can see that it console logs stuff, so I can see the output in my console while I'm running this, okay? So if I type anything here, I should be able to see something somewhere in some console, okay? Right now, I don't see it right here because obviously I'm not connected properly, but it doesn't matter. So it says this server login data subscribe response any console log response, okay? This is the same thing what we talked about last lesson about JavaScript asynchronous JavaScript requests, okay? So basically what it wants is wants to send some data to a remote server, wait for the response. When it gets the response, do something with the response. So that response can be, yep, cool, you are logged in, or it can be, there is an error, okay?
Why is it calling this?
This server, okay?
Why would you need to call the server?
But where are you logging in?
Yeah, but like the other login pages also need to call this server.
What other login pages?
Like, for example, AppsForce website.
AppSource website is hosted on AppSource website, on the server itself, okay? And the database of all the users is on that server. So if I have a login page on that thing, it calls its database, checks your password, checks does it exist, and tells you, yes, you can come in, or no, you cannot. If I have a mobile app, okay, the app is not executed just like a web browser is not executing on the server itself. So it needs to communicate to the server, just like a web page communicates to the server, but it's more complex. It has to go, the database is not stored where the website is, so I need to call API. And I'll explain it a little bit better in a second, okay? So what they have done here is they created a service, but this service is just the name of the folder. It can be anything, okay? So there is a server service, so that this server, when you see it in the code, because it imports this service, refers to that, okay? So let me show you that again. Login page TS, okay? This server, login, okay? And it imports service from service, okay? Which is service. Very nice to say, okay? So, and then it has the server. This is that, okay? And then it can call functions like login, logout, dashboard status, and everything else. So basically all the functionality which communicates with the backend, with the server, is in this file. So it has little functions. So see, we are making a post request to HTTP. This is the URL, login, we send some data, and then we get some results. And we return these results to whoever called it, whichever page called this in our thing. Same thing with logout, and if you want to see the dashboard, if you want to see holiday information, if you want to see the schedule information, it's, as you can see, very easy, very simple, okay? So
is that like a controller?
yeah. So we have that kind of controller model view thing here. So these files are like controller. Okay, this is where the logic happens. These files are like views. This is where we display the stuff, and then you have some CSS if you want to define your how it looks like and so on. So it's kind of split, and then you have your router, which is this one, which tells you where everything goes. So as you can see, it's very similar to what we are doing in PHP, even if it has nothing to do with PHP. And the stuff that we were doing in JavaScript over there, or PHP, making those requests are same. They're just typed differently. But they still post requests, they still get requests, they still send some data, gets it back, it's still in JSON format. Okay, so as you can see, I don't have to learn specifics of TypeScript. I never programmed in TypeScript in my life, but I understand how this works. I understand it, and that's what the key of being programmed is, to understand how it works. It doesn't matter what language it's using. Sometimes it says import, sometimes in others it says use. We know how it goes. Or request once, or import once, or whatever it says, I don't care. Okay? Sometimes we have these arrows, and then sometimes we have import this, then do that. Okay, fine. So if I have this form, which is a login page HTML, and I have text input, and then type password input, which are just inputs, okay? It's required, so same thing about the HTML. It has a name, password, and email, fine, and it has this text before, fine. And then I have a button, submit. And this is a form, and it's an Angular form, so when you submit it, it calls the function login, and it passes the form value. Where is the function login? Function login is hopefully here. So login data, it logs the data in a console, so I will see it in a console. Checks if there is no email or password, gives a toast, fill me shit or else. Otherwise, it calls, it makes a little spinner on the screen, and then it will call a file from the other folder, calls this service, whatever it's called, waits for response. If the message is not done, it's going to throw error. Otherwise, it's going to save the user's data to local storage. Okay, and then this is just like a JavaScript, changes the window URL to dashboard. So after moves to the next page. In PHP, in our controls, we had this return redirects to whatever page. Same shit here, okay? So, this is my website. This is my time website. Okay? So this is my server, appsource.com. Okay? And it is a Laravel application. Okay? And it has an API controller and it has a function login. Okay? So I will put a breakpoint here and I will debug this thing. Okay? Let's see what happens when I click login. Boom. I can see that my phone is waiting for the response. I got the spinner. It's async, but in this case, we don't want user to move on and do whatever they want. We want them to wait for the response. So we block the UI with the spinner, but at least user knows it's doing something, okay? But this is the beautiful thing, that I can see these two communicating. So I can see the backend and the front end in action together. And I can debug what is going on. So this will read email and a password from my request that this thing sent. Okay, let's see. So email and password is this random stuff that I just typed. You can see it here. Okay? And then it's going to try to log me in with this email and password. So if that's successful, but it isn't. Okay? So it's attempting this. I put some breakpoints to see how it works, so I will just keep playing. Okay? And as you can see, if it's successful, then response will be message is done, user, here's the user data, here's some token, here's some URL that you might need for whatever purposes, or wrong credentials. So let me play this, boom, invalid login details, please try again. Okay, so if I put email, which I hopefully am using, now which password I have for that. Okay, so email, that one, password, whatever, boom, validate credentials, it's validating, but failed invalid login details. Okay, so I can't remember exactly what my login details were, but let's have a look at this app. Okay, I don't need that right now. So I have this app by time. Okay, I have some breakpoints there. So this is my web app. Okay, and you can see it looks quite similar to my mobile app because for these purposes it is quite similar. So it logged me in, and I have schedule, holidays, and if I uploaded some documents like picture from my holidays, I don't know what it would be. I have some dashboard, which is this thing which tells me what to do, and I can change my bank account details and so on. So it's quite simple application, all right? But mhm. My app source, okay, my admin, utilities, database. So this is my time database, and here in users, these are my users, okay? This is this one with appsource@gmail.com, okay? And this is my encrypted password, whatever that password is. I also have administrators, so I create this automatically. That's my administrator as such. Okay, so let me try this slightly differently than before. Okay, so I'm going to create a user, and I'm going to just use one of these users. Okay, edit user. Okay, and this is my local. So jfabris, fine. I'm going to put password jfabris as well. Okay. So this is user jfabris and password is jfabris, okay? Save. Okay, so I know what this user's password and stuff is, okay? And then what I need to do with this user jfabris, I need to give applications my time, okay? So now user jfabris has access to application my time, okay? I'm going to log out and log in jfabris. Okay? So it says jfabris. If I go to my time, okay? So now it's trying to log in jfabris. Okay? See the details. I click play, and hopefully now it's saying, hello Julia, you are logged in. Okay, so that's that. So will this work with Julia's email?
But you did register an email. Does it not matter? Like, can't you just write jfabris and
No, this was email, but I have the email because this user entered the email before. It's yeah. JF at appsforce co UK, and password is jfabris. Okay, so hopefully this will say this is the email, this is the password, and now it's going to try that. Okay, fine, fine. Now we are inside this if. So authorization attempt worked. Okay, so now user is authorized user. So this is app models user, like we know before, and we can see all the details of this user, so all the attributes, wherever they are. It's going to have all the standard ones.
This is the token for the API?
Nope. Okay. Okay, so now the app works, says welcome Julia, because it knows it's Julia, because it got that information from the server, and it checks her schedule, holidays, and documents, and so on. It has this little menu on the side where she can change some settings and so on. So it works. Any questions?
A little bit confused why this is now the sites page again.
No, this is not the site page, but it looks exactly like the site page. This,
It says even on top of the site.
where does it say site? Sorry.
All the way on the top, yes. Above API controller file. On the in the tip.
This,
Yeah.
yeah, but that is that.
Sites is,
Yeah, I have two of these. I have two, sorry, I have two VS Codes open, okay? One is mobile development,
And that's
okay?
what this app is connected to. And the other one is just for site, for website.
it's just debugging.
Okay. But it's not loading anything in the app.
It is, and it isn't. Okay, so I have my server running with my database. That's the sites, okay? Inside of those sites, I have user Julia, all right? And I have the API calls, all right, that anyone can apply for. So I have my mobile application running, which looks very similar like the other one, because I want it to look the same because that's my branding, okay? So Julia enters her details inside the phone, then it goes to my server, which is running on my computer at the moment because I'm a developer, so I can do those things that I want to see them. It goes to sites, communicates to it, asks some questions, returns the data, goes back to the mobile application, and then displays me the dashboard page. So it displays me the dashboard page, this page here. That's the page that I'm looking at now. So see here says user name. That's that. Okay, where did it get username? Well, username, no, it got it when I logged in. But then it saved it on my phone. It saved my username on the local storage of the phone. So this is now available on any page. I can see who my user is and say, hello, Julia, and so on. So dashboard page TS, which is like our controller of this page, okay? So it says, okay, fair enough, data. So before it loads this page, it wants to load the schedule, okay? So this calls this server, give me a dashboard page. Give me the data which goes here. So now it goes back to my server, makes another request, but I'm authorized now, so it will give me the schedule of Julia, okay? And then says, I know who this user is, because obviously it also gave it the user for no reason, because he has it already in this app. Shows it in console, so this will get me the, not login page, sorry, dashboard page, dashboard HTML. So this gives me welcome text, schedule holiday, do I have any holidays, and do I have any other schedules, documents, so I can print all these things out because it got it from the server. Okay? So I'm going to make a little pause now and then try to add push notifications, which will fail again spectacularly, but we have a next Thursday to get out of this conundrum, okay? But at least we'll move forward in the right direction. Music in the background is quite disturbing. Well, thanks, Menas. I didn't see it before. You won't have it in the second time. Okay, sorry about that. Forgot to switch it up. Guys, few minutes.
And I was thinking, maybe we reschedule this manual at 7, because then we can
Hey,
go
Google,
Zoom
stop.
and then at home we can join online. Anyway, you will not come.
No, that's fine.
make it at 6:30, but I don't know.
Check.
حرفش اینه که ما با این مارکرهای در حقیقت ولی ریزنینگ لاین ریزنینگ و همبرگی بد نیستش. یه چیز کوچیکی ازشون هستش. نه دارم پیداش میکنم. این توی این لینکیه که توی چیز میفرستم. این لینکیه که حقیقت خبر اینه که بردن پتمنده بکنم. اینا میگن که ما با مایکروفلوید میایم استاپ میکنیم. حرفش تقریبا یکی از ایده هایی که ما اول هم داشتیم، من نمیدونم تو پتنت اصلا حرفش رو زدیم مایکروفلوید رو یا نه. در هر صورت یه روش دراگ ادمینستریشنه دیگه. یه جوری ما دراگ رو چیز میکنیم.
Oh, I can make it at 6:40.
6:40.
یعنی یه چیزی که اینا الان بردنش. پتمنده اوپن رو گرفتن. قراره همین جون شروع بشه. تازه قرار داده شد چیز شده. من واقعیتش هیچ اطلاعات به درد بخور توی چیزا پیدا یه خیلی خلاصه مثلا ما این سوئیسیه صحبت کردم ولی کمونم خیلی چیز خاص نداره. یعنی خیلی گونه واسه خودشون هم یا اینکه مثلا یه خود کانفیدنشیال داره.
Actually, we might not leave 6. We might not leave at 6. Sometimes we stay 5-10 minutes.
At 6:11 I have bus. I can go to the travel. Because it's stupid to stay here half hour wait.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
خیلی وقتا فکرم نمی‌کنم. اونم هر یکی کپی کرده مثلا. اکثرا آخر FTAش رو ببینید این FTAش رو در کپی FTA اپروال یکی دیگه است. نشون میده که دیوایس هم از روی یکی کپی کرده و منفجر شیل دارن ساخته. نهایتش
Okay, guys. I'm going to first of all kill this simulator, but on Mac I just need to properly kill it. Okay, so it's gone. I don't need terminal. All right. So in order for push notifications to work, I will need a proper package name for my application. So this application can't be ioniccrap.com, whatever it's right now here. Okay, so I'm going to change all these, and it's probably going to break everything. All right, so I'm going to look for this, and then I'm going to replace it with org apps force my time. Okay, replace. Okay, so app name is worker. I want to call it my time. So if I look for worker, I will probably, it's an unfortunate name. So name worker name worker, that's it. I want to replace some of these, but not just worker, because just worker is probably something that needs to be called just worker. So I'm going to replace these manually, so just to make sure that I don't make any mistakes. So application is called my time.
به بقیه دستگاه چجوری وصلش بکنیم؟
Okay, here my time, my, what the hell?
چون اینی که این داره میگه اینا مثلا دارن میگن مثلا یه پردیکشنی حالا
Control C, Control V.
اینا
Okay.
یکی دارن پردیکت میکنن ولی میخوان از اون همون برچسبی که زدن همونجوری دارن میزن مثلا رو سمت کوساین جا میشه و این که خیلی
Up
واسه
name.
حتی یه پاراگراف دو پاراگراف بیشتر ازش اینفورمیشن در نمیاد اینو باید
That's the URL, so I'm going to keep that, and then these, all the others probably. That's fine. Oh my God, see how many places. So it's really important that when you start your application for the first time, you get it right, because otherwise this is a nightmare to change, and you will see how it's not going to work. And for the rest of the lesson, I'm just probably going to keep trying to figure out how this works. Com worker app work. What the hell? This is even worse, okay? I don't think I should change these, I'm not sure. Okay. So hopefully does that. Okay. So let me just see, is it still working? Uh-huh.
I saw two applications.
Yeah, very well spotted. I'll come back to that, okay? So it installed the application called My Time, but this is a different application. Even if the code is exactly the same, this one is called io.ionic.starter or whatever it is. So it thinks this is a completely different application than this one. So if I run this one, I'll get the same application, but it's two separate applications on iOS, as you see. So I'm logged in on this one already, because this one has its own storage, okay? And this one has its own storage. So same applications, but before, because I changed the thing, and we were lucky because I think I got them all properly for iOS. For Android, as I mentioned here,
You have to change the path.
I do have to change up source Java. It created org, Apache Cordova, IO, Ionic keyboard, that's fine. worker app com main activity. I think I left this com worker app, so who knows? Maybe Android will work as well. I'm not going to try it right now, but let's leave it as it is. It's working. Shush, don't tell anyone, okay? So what I want to do is I want to kill this actually. Simulator quit. All right. And just Google how the hell do I start this ionic capacitor. Refresh code changes in simulator or something like that. Or I want every time when I make a change, live reload. That's what I want. Okay. So DDD. So apparently I can do this run iOS -l -external. Okay. So let's do that. So it's asking me for this device again. Boom,
I think
boom.
it's the dash L after on iOS. That was that.
Hmm?
Usually when we were working on Kotlin.
Yeah. But you have Ionic, so that's what you do. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's run Android minus L.
Yeah.
I think that's the library.
Yeah. Okay. So here's my app coming up. So select language. So I'm on the page select language. So I guess it's this one here. And if I go to HTML, then I have the lang heading, okay? And I'm going to say here, hello. Okay, so I got live reloading, and now because I got live reloading, hopefully I'll also get console logs in my here. Maybe I won't, but it doesn't matter if I don't. Okay, so I can delete this thing. So this is good. All right. So far, so good. So say language English and problems, output, this is Git, debug terminal, click JF at apps for okay, and the password will be jfabris. But I'm not going to log in now, okay? Because I know this will work. I want to see FCM push, okay? So this is Ionic documentation, and then I can see native, all right? And then I can see here that I have many things that I can use, okay? So I can connect to Instagram, or I can use Google Nearby, Google Analytics, so many different things, okay? But what I want is this Firebase cloud messaging, okay? So it says capacitor, install that, do sync, and then it's going to magically work, all right? Which isn't, but let's see what happens. Great, supported platform Android and iOS. Capacitor not compatible. You just told me how to run it with capacitor. You're telling me it's not compatible with it. Okay, great. All right. So, and after that, I have some sort of usage Angular. So this is how I use it, but this is not explained at all, and this is not how you would use it in a real life. So it's not a very good example. But hey. This is what I hate about this documentation, that sometimes it's not very useful. But they at least give me a GitHub to this guy's Fechanik, okay? So see, they used Cordova plugin FCM, so they make a copy of that one, and then this is my, this and some guy, Andre, which is not me, updated README file. Yes, so Andreas are very useful. So extremely easy plug and play push notifications. It's extremely easy, guys. Okay, so you can't have easier than this. It's not a little bit easy. It's extremely easy. All right. So if you want to install it, yeah, this is piece of cake. Okay, no problems here. All right. I noticed few things because this is not enough, okay, but let's see what it happens. Now the problem is I'm running my simulator here and it's not going to work really well actually because I can't just install additional modules and expect this application to work. So hopefully this application will die at some point once install all these modules. And see, I don't have even I have to come and see, I have to break this process so I can, what the hell is this pasting? I don't know. So I need to install FCM dependency, okay, paste, enter. Oh, is it going to work? Yep, it works. Okay, so added one package, removed one package, and then found that I can upgrade 16 vulnerabilities, which I don't worry about right now. So first step is great, and then npm install that. Okay, paste. All right, so added 750 packages, nice. 750, not 2, not 7, okay? So that's great, so that's done. And then it wants me to do that. So I'm installing additional packages that are required for this push to work. Oh, where the hell did I change? Yeah, I know, but it's where the hell is this guy? I'm not on Linux. Mobile development. My fingers type something wrong. CD my time, and then I can finally do that thing which was sync shit. Okay.
You might need to close the emulator.
The emulator should die at some point.
So what were you doing this for?
So what exactly I'm doing, I found Firebase Cloud Messaging. To enable the push, I need to install Firebase Cloud Messaging, okay? And then it says Cordova FCM dependency updated. This is the first one, and then Cordova plugins FCM. So I need to install additional software and then sync some files, which obviously is now, don't know, doing something. It didn't die yet, which is great. It also did not succeed. Okay, well, yes, done. So what this ionic capacitor should be doing, they should be updating all the Android files and all the iOS files, so when I run Android now, I don't have Like in React Native, I have to do pod install and then I have additional problems. So this apparently is done for me, okay? So if I run this again, it should work. Which one was it? Dash shell, dash something, okay? Live reload. Don't know is this external required, but it worked. Okay, and I'm going to select iPhone X. Let's see what's going to happen with my app, because it's running. The old one. Error. So it throw an error. Okay, so like I installed stuff properly, but then, oh my God, what the hell is all this? I can't even see the beginning of this. Warning, Fireblaze Analytics is not included. Delete if Modo Foundation, 3 warnings generated. Signing identity. Oh my God, what is all this rubbish? Well, I guess it's quite verbose, but where is my error? Okay. The iOS simulator deployment target is set to 8.0, but range of supported development targets versions 9.0. So okay. So see how it worked a moment ago, but now it doesn't work because I added few files. I would assume that these few files require me to change the minimum iOS version that this should run on, okay? So right now the target says here it's 8, but it needs to be something between 9 and 15. So I need to update this somewhere. I love the fact that, you know, these guys are not going to tell me, hey, if you run into that problem, that's not going to happen. Okay?
What if you select the newest iPhone? Is it running on a different iOS?
No, this one is running on different iOS. This is not running on some old iOS. Don't know if I scroll here. It should have settings, and then I should find something about this. Sorry? General. About. So this is 12.4. So it's not that the simulator is old or wrong, okay? It's just in some settings file, it says 9. Okay? iPhone's development target. So if I look in my time, find and folder iPhone's development target, I don't even have it. So if I look for 8.0, I'm going to find a ridiculous number of things. But see, it tells me in which file. Command click, okay.
What did you do?
I press command click, I follow the link. Okay, but this is no idea where this thing is. And and what this whole thing about is. No idea. Okay? So I can run that right now. However, I can always buy a premium advisory services, contact us today and then everything will be sorted. So if I look at the actual what I installed, okay, installation. First thing, make sure you have Google Services JSON for Android or Google Services Info plist for your iOS in your Cordova project root folder. No one mentioned anything about these two things. On Android, push notifications don't require any special permission, but unfortunately on Apple, it's not nice to work with, requiring the running device to be a real device, no simulators allowed. Oh my God.
It's extremely simple.
Extremely easy, extremely. This 2-year-old child, average IQ in the sleep can do this, okay? So application application has require, oh my God, this is worse English than me, has required that this permission automatically configured by this plugin. Oh, so good. The user running the application has to manually allow the application to receive the push notifications. The application must be built with credentials created from a paid account or team that is allowed.
That's why it's easy. 'Cause
The
you-
build install has to come from App Store or Test Flight or be built with special certificate.
So if you run it on Android, it will work.
So obviously I can run it on external device and I should run it on external device at some point. But for my test purposes, I want to run it on a simulator before. But they say that these push notifications don't work on the simulators. Or they are not allowed. Well, maybe it will still work, I don't know. So I have to manually allow application to receive the push notifications. Don't think so. Application must be built with credentials created from a paid account or team that is allowed to receive push notifications. I have no idea what this means. I'm so happy that this guy who wrote these instructions thinks, oh, this is clear for everyone who really wants easy things to do, okay? And then make sure that you have your Google Service Info plist, okay? So see these bloody Ionic guys,
They didn't say anything.
yeah, there you go. You install it like that, learn about, and this is how you use it. It's just going to work.
That's why it's better to read Stack Overflow than documentation. Is there the right
Yeah, but on
solution?
Stack Overflow, you will have 7,000 people with 700 different opinions how to do this.
That is true.
Okay? Because who knows what the hell they broke before they ran this application, all right? So this is why this is hard. This is hard for a couple of reasons. First, because all this new technology does not have a good and trial and tested documentation. Remember what I was saying at the beginning of the test stuff. Yeah, it might work slightly better, slightly faster, it might be slightly easier, but is it really? Okay?
Is it Google or Facebook?
Google.
Firebase.
Okay?
Firebase Google?
So Firebase Cloud Messenger, iOS setup, Android setup, web setup. So Firebase Cloud Messaging works with the web. Okay? It works with Unity and Flutter. Now, this is going to be fun Okay. Upload your APN authentication keys. Register for node notifications if you are using Swift or for Objective-C. Okay, because their documentation is for native iOS applications. This is not for Ionic or React Native or any other things, okay? So all these instructions from these guys and Android, of course, by the same time, logic, it's going to be with Android SDK, not, so it's either Java or this Kotlin programming language. So useless. Web, JavaScript, maybe that will do the thing, okay? But I'm not using exactly JavaScript, okay? So this is kind of what we are having, okay? Configure web credentials. Okay, web credentials, web push certificates, oh my God, horrible, okay? So how the hell do I do this? Well, 100% what I need to do in order for this to work, I need to set it up, okay? I need to set up this Firebase cloud messaging, okay? So go to console, and just like I created Animus, Slinky, and T-Org, I'm going to add a project, and I'm going to call this project My Time, okay? This is the first thing, all right? I confirm that I will use it to my trade, business, or profession. What else? Okay, fine. Google Analytics is free. Okay. Create account, default account for Wireface. Okay, fine. Create project. So I know one fact that if I want to use this Google Firebase, I need to create a project. Okay. The second thing is that my app has to talk to Google. My mobile app has to talk to Google. Google has to talk to my mobile app. And it doesn't matter is my mobile app on Android or iOS, they have to talk. But then my server has to talk to Google and tell Google what to do, all right? So basically I'm using external resource, which is essential to what I'm doing. So I need to set up the project, okay? And this application has to work with multiple platforms, okay? So cloud messaging, okay? So right now, My Time, iOS. So see, add Firebase to your Apple app. All right? So it's calling Apple Bundle ID. Again, I said this has many different names, but it is org apps force My Time. Okay? Nickname optional. App Store ID optional. I don't have App Store ID yet, so I am not going to put anything here. Okay? Register app. So this is registering this with Google. Okay? And see now what it's telling me is download this Google Services Info plist file. Okay? So this is what this guy is, make sure that you have Google Services Info plist file. And the same thing for the Android I have to do. Okay, so what did they say? Make sure they didn't tell me how. I had to Google and whatever said Stack Overflow and all the others. Help me how to get this file. So now I remember. So I can download this file and then it says put it in root of your Xcode project and add it to all targets. How to add it to all targets? What are my targets? I don't know, people. Okay, download. Okay, so there's my file. Next. Okay, using Swift Package Manager, but I'm not programming a Swift programming language. So basically they want for the Swift to add a package. But I already added packages for capacitor and Cordova and Ionica. I'm going to use those. So I figured out I can skip this guy. Okay, fine. And then they give me connect to Fireblaze. You can use this code. I'm going to use other code. Okay, and you are all set. Check out the documentation. Continue to console. Okay, so now I have iOS. Add app. Android. Okay, org apps force
I
my.
think it's my worker. You didn't change the Android one.
I change everything. Or not, but this has to be that. It can't be anything else. Register app. Download Google Services JSON, stick it in app here, okay, with build Gradle and so on. All right. Download. Okay, so I have these two, fine. Okay, so in my app, this is my site, so I'm going to close this for the time being, okay, because as I say, we are not going to finish this today because it's easy. So extremely, sorry, you are absolutely right. This is extremely easy. So basically what I think I need to do is stick it somewhere. Okay, so Android, I think it should go here in the root, and iOS should go in iOS, but maybe not. Okay, so see, it says my application, app, so inside the app. Okay, but what it's showing me, this is Android Studio. Okay, but I'm not in Android Studio yet. Okay, so app, build lib source. So for Android, app build source. Okay, so I'm just comparing up build source. So it actually wants it inside of this app, and see there's a build Gradle and capacitor bundle. So this is where it wants that file. Okay, Google Services JSON. So this is the one for the Android. Boom. Now it's there. Okay. Okay, and I can say next, and then it tells me how to run it, and next. Okay, I'm fine. But no idea where it was this one. Okay, so let's look at iOS. App. Let's stick it here in app, huh? I am sure that's going to work very well. Okay, so there is a plist. Okay, so this plist file is extremely unique. Okay, because it's generated for my app, for my thing. Okay, I can't use this one for some other ones, because as you can see, it has a bundle ID which I decided, but it has API keys and all the other stuff which will allow my application to connect to this specific thing. Okay, so hopefully that's that. But it did say put it in one of these X project files, so I don't know what's going to happen. Okay. So, which instructions we are going to follow then? Okay. Android FCM version, Firebase messaging version, or whatever that is. So it says npm install Cordova latest, but we are not using Cordova, we are using capacitor, but hopefully that's fine. It says uninstall Ionic native FCM. Uninstall. Sorry. Okay. This one didn't mention that. Cordova plugin add Cordova plugin FCM with dependency updated. Cordova plugin FCM with dependency updated. So basically this is installing the same one. Complete. npm install rates, okay. Cordova plugin, add Cordova plugin variable. What the hell is this? I guess, okay. Ionic. Install Cordova add-in with dependency updated. We just said that.
It's telling you for everything.
Yeah. Okay. Besides common FCM configuration, the push payload should contain notification, data, and click action. Huh? What? Is that working? Is it features? And now it tells me about features. How the hell do I actually use this? I mean, am I an idiot? Am I too old for this shit? You know, well, here you are, young guys, the generation, you know exactly for this, it's easy for you. No, this is just bad. And then I say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to use this. I'm going to burn the whole thing down and I'm going to use React Native instead. And React Native makes it even worse. Then I say, I'm not going to use React Native, I'm going to use native programming, okay? And then they create the same shit. So you can't win.
You have to program iOS by itself and Android by itself.
Yeah, but, you know. So first things first, okay? Can I run this now? Is it going to run? Was it just this file missing? Or is it still going to complain about that issue that I have? Let's fix one thing at a time, because this is the only thing what I can do. I know I need this file. Okay. So iPhones development target, OS simulator, okay. Capacitor.
Could this mean Cordova itself?
Mm.
Because in this it says install Cordova 9 or more.
Yeah, no. Well, this is iOS software version. Okay, so somewhere in some idiotic file it says that target is 8.0. My simulator is not running on 8.0, it's running on 12, so simulator is fine. Okay, but somewhere it says that. Okay, I'm going to put ionic capacitor in front of this text because that's related to that. Okay, let's see. Well, forum ionic, okay. Warning, set target, but this one wants that. Try to change deployment target for Xcode.
Settings of Xcode?
iOS deployment target 11, okay? So, Xcode. Now, funny thing about this Xcode, okay? So, file, open. So what do I need to open is this, mobile development, my time, iOS. So you have two of these. I think this one. Okay, so this is my app. Now, because this guy is brilliant, he just took a screenshot of something which makes absolutely no sense. Okay, So deployment setting, where the hell will I find deployment setting? Okay, so build setting, deployment,
Yeah.
iOS deployment target 12.
Why do you have target and project on the left?
On the left.
Yeah.
Why?
On the right of this? Yeah.
App and target.
So the items.
Yeah, what's the difference, please?
No, who knows?
You need them like that, or
You know, personally, I want my app to run. So this guy is telling me to update this from 8 to something else, but it seems like it's already there. iOS deployment target.
you want like all the
iOS deployment target 12. Okay. Here, iOS deployment target 12. Okay. So I can run this app from here, hopefully. So if I click play, build failed. Okay. And then it has an error. No such module as capacitor. Sorry?
It also says iPad Touch or iPod Touch.
Oh yeah, so I need to change that. But anyway, this guy says no such model as capacitor. Of course, it's going to work because, you know, who knows did I open it properly or not or whatever it is. So not a very good help. Stack Overflow. Okay. Set the minimum OS version in iOS Flutter plist. In Xcode double check uncomment iOS pod file. What? Pod file? Okay. Platform iOS 12. Okay, so that's good. What else does it want? Runner, project runner. Minimum OS version in iOS Flutter, but I don't have Flutter. Capacitor config.
Maybe.
Hmm?
There was something about Swift as well.
About
Swift.
Swift. You know, I said ionic, but then it iOS simulate. Get a lot of warnings when building my app. Found few problems I couldn't figure out. This is Xcode 12 issue. Good to know. This guy also has a problem. I'm so happy. This solved it for me. Again, Flutter. Flutter Doctor. iOS Flutter, but I don't have this. Info plist. Minimum OS version. I don't have minimum at all. I search for 80, but I'm afraid to search for 80 because I'm sure it's going to find millions of these things. So minimum tools version. How many? 41. Intro iOS. So God knows is he complaining about this one. iPhone OS deployment target. So, but see, this is some XC build data, so these are some temporary files which are generated, so if I change it in any of them, okay, so let's put 9 here. What's the worst thing that can happen? And then, you just keep doing this and it keeps dying till you want to shoot yourself, etc. It's it's not this, it's this pods Xcode project, okay? So maybe I do need Xcode and change the pods one, okay? Pods. Does this have any 8s in it? Nope. Bundle version info. Mhm.
What did the first line say? In this file, in config file?
Which config file? So there is a file called info plist, okay? So this is plist file, and then product bundle is this, the product name is that, okay? So app info, all right? So this is English, okay, dictionary version, product name, but it has nothing to do, as far as I can see, with this, idiotic version number. Okay. Answers. What sort of answer is this? Where to use the script? Yeah, into pod file, I think. Here's the article which supports this. Okay. You can set deployment target for all your pod references or remove the value. What the hell are these people all about?
I think this is all Swift coding.
You can add the following to your pod file as which pod file? Debug. Where do I stick it here? This doesn't look right. How was this guy? This one doesn't exist. So let's go back to this guy. iOS pod file. It says 12.0. Do I put it on the top? Do I put it on the bottom? Post install, do installer. Okay, so I guess after you install the pod files, but okay. So now I assume I go to CDIS pod update.
It's an app, I think.
Okay. Let's give it a go, but I kind of think this is not going to work still. Well, it didn't die so far, and then it did, and it's the same shit, you know. So this one build failed.
The error is gone now.
Yeah, you got the new one. Yeah, so as you can see, extremely easy to integrate these mobile applications. It's so lovely. I will try to figure out over the next day or so what the issues here are, but as you can see, I can only test the documentation, which is completely pointless. I will try to have an empty app, but this app is not causing any issues here, okay? And then try to see how can I move on from this thing, okay? Because nobody told me that I need to update the pods. This is not a good development platform, because we are all wasting our time with the ridiculously bad documentation, with ridiculously unfinished products. Somebody managed to get to work once somewhere, and you know. And this is what we have to live with. So once we get it to work, we don't touch it anymore because we know how much effort it put. But why can't I upgrade to the next version? Because it's going to crash, you know. And you don't know what is crashing what. And then at the end it tells me I can't even run it on the simulator. What, I can't run at all my application if I install Firebase on a simulator? I can't believe that. Probably I can't receive push notifications, but probably I can. We'll see what happens.
It works for go time, so it's possible, right?
Of course it's possible, you know, but as I say, it is a nightmare. So hopefully what I will be able to do for the next lesson is build this app, okay? Because what I want to show you guys, once I have this plugin finally configured, okay, there's so much work to do, because I still need to put the code on my backend server to talk to this Google services. I need to put all the code in my mobile application to actually register those tokens and do the stuff. So we'll see, you know, maybe those 2 hours next time won't even be enough. but at least we are moving forward, you know, so we got at least some stuff, some progress. So hopefully by the end we'll get this fully integrated. What I will also do when I do this thing for you guys, I'm going to create repositories for this mobile app and for the web app, so you can have both of those. But what ideally I'm going to do is create 2 repositories for each. So I'll have my time app, but I will also have AIC app, you know, so we can use the same push notifications for both. I just update these plist files that I generated, so hopefully that will just be straight swap, but we'll see. Any questions? Anyone online? No. So we haven't finished, but we'll continue. Thanks guys for listening. Hope it was useful, and talk to you on Thursday again. Bye bye.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's working.
No, he said.
Yeah, it's working.
Ah, this is what? Bye bye.
Bye.